If I tell you, don't watch this, there's a part of you that wants to continue. Not because you care about the video, but because your choice felt challenged. That reaction is not random, it is a built-in response in your brain, a response designed to protect your freedom. In psychology, this is called reactance. Reactance is what happens when you feel your freedom is being limited and your brain doesn't accept that easily. Even small restrictions trigger it. Even simple word can activate it. When someone says, "You must do this," you feel pressure. When someone says, "You can't do this," you feel resistance. And that resistance pushes you to do the opposite. That is the foundation of reverse psychology. Reverse psychology does not force you, it influences your reaction, and your reaction creates your decision, which makes it feel like your choice. But the trigger came from outside. Let's break this down step by step. Your brain has a basic need called autonomy. Autonomy means you feel in control of your actions. Research in motivation. Science shows that autonomy is one of the most important psychological needs. When autonomy is threatened, your brain reacts like something important is being taken away. That reaction is emotional, not logical. Your brain doesn't stop and analyze the situation. It reacts immediately, and that reaction is to restore control. This is why, when someone tells you not to do something, you feel a sudden urge to do it even if you didn't care. Before, that's the key. The desire is not always real. Sometimes it is created by restriction. Let's look at a simple example. You walk past a door, you don't care what's inside. Then someone says, "Don't go in there." Now you're curious. Not because the room changed, but because your access was restricted. Your brain wants to restore that access. Now let's go deeper. Reverse psychology works best when it feels indirect. If someone directly tells you, "Do this," your brain resists. But if someone says, "You probably won't do this," your brain reacts differently. Now it feels like a challenge, and challenges activate motivation, especially if your identity is involved. If someone suggests you can't do something, your brain tries to prove them wrong. This is where reactance and identity combine, and that combination is powerful. Now let's bring this into real life. Parents use it with children. "Don't eat that." The child becomes curious. "Don't touch that." The child wants to touch it. Not because they want the object, but because they want control. Now look at school, a teacher says. "This is difficult. You probably won't understand." Students try harder, not because they suddenly care, but because their ability was questioned. Now look at social situations. Someone says, "You wouldn't like this." Now you want to try it because your preference was decided for you. Now look at marketing, only a few left. Last chance. This creates restriction, and restriction increases desire because your brain interprets it as limited freedom. Now look at relationships. If you don't want to come, it's fine. This creates a subtle pressure because now your choice feels important and you reconsider. Now here is the important part. Reverse psychology does not always mean manipulation. Sometimes it is just natural communication, but it becomes manipulation when it is intentional, when someone knows how you react and uses it to influence you without you noticing. That is where it becomes control. Now let's go deeper into the brain. When your freedom is challenged, your brain activates emotional systems, the limbic system, which processes threat and motivation. At the same time, your logical system slows down. This means your decision is not fully rational, it is reactive, and reactive decisions are predictable. That's why reverse psychology works, because it predicts your reaction. Now here is something interesting. Not everyone reacts the same. People who value independence more strongly experience stronger reactance, which means they are more likely to do the opposite. This creates a paradox. People who think, "I can't be controlled," often react stronger to control, which makes them easier to influence. Now, the important question: how do you notice it when it's happening? First, watch your emotions. If something suddenly feels like a challenge, pause. Second, ask yourself, do I actually want this? Or am I reacting? Third, slow down reactance is strongest in fast decisions. If you wait, the emotional pressure reduces. Fourth, look for patterns. If someone repeatedly uses reverse framing, it may not be accidental. Now here is the final insight. Reverse psychology does not control your actions directly, it controls your reaction. And when your reaction is predictable, your behavior can be guided. But when you are aware, that pattern breaks, you regain control, not by resisting everything, but by understanding what is happening, because awareness turns reaction into decision, and that is real control. If this made you think, comment, aware, subscribe for more.